Hey, Stephanie.
Hello, Keith.
I don't know what we were doing last time.
Do we ever actually know what we're doing about anything?
Sometimes. Hi.
It's my cute boyfriend Rockley.
Fuck. Where do we go? Shit. Shit. This didn't help at all. Shit. Ah. Oh god, there's so much evidence, Stephanie. Help me. There's gonna be a third page soon. I'm afraid.
Okay, so we were just at the evidence room. We found this. We had to solve the other case because the other case is tied to this case. It's one with like the broken vase.
Oh, this is all dialogue.
Was it new dialogue?
Yeah, let's start over.
Okay.
The tag says SL 911.
9/11.
Oh. Oh no.
But such bad taste, Phoenix Wright. Just kidding. I think it predates it.
I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case.
You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing.
Huh? What's so confusing about that?
Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag. Zag? Is that even a word?
Is that a word?
Oh. Do you challenge me? Yes.
What, are we playing a word game now?
Gosh.
She's too
what an
much.
idiot.
Yeah, what an idiot. Doesn't even know what zag is.
Yeah, come on, get with it.
I guess you can't afford it.
That's my Scrabble game winning word right there.
The, oh yeah, something to update you on. So, the muffler pun works in Japanese.
It does.
And here's the reason why is way less coincidental and exciting than it sounds. The words for muffler, for both mufflers, are just loan words from English. Because so much of the Japanese language is continually more and more English loan words. So they just say the English word basically, and that's what they use in the language. Like a lot of modern tech words, they just say what we call it, but like kind of translated through like their phonetics, so it kind of gets garbled a bit into different syllables. But like, so yeah, muffler, both words for muffler that they use for both contexts come from English, and so they are called muffler, and so that's why the localizers didn't have to fix it or anything.
That actually just makes perfect sense, and we're silly for not thinking of that, considering that we come from America, where we literally borrow words from every other place that there is.
But also, I think we're both already aware of the fact that there's so much. There's so many English loanwords in the Japanese language at this point.
Oh yeah,
so
I love watching anime and just hearing like something. Okay. English word. Yeah, it's.
But I gotta cut us off.
Sorry.
Because I have no fucking clue where to go, so I gotta review our old footage or something to see. So there's a thing that happened in this game. I'm just gonna comment on this real quick. The pacing of this game was really conducive to like sessions. We would sit down for like 4 hours and we would beat like a day. And it'd be a nice encapsulated chunk.
That is true.
I feel like every time this case is so long, each investigative section is so convoluted that we spend like 3 days on it. And so it gets incredibly hard to tell what's going on because there's like 12 locations and 2 pages of evidence and 6 NPCs. And I'm like, I could use an objective screen right about now of like, what's the current question in Phoenix's head I'm trying to solve? Because, and I feel like that's supposed to be what Phoenix Wright's office is supposed to be. I feel like you're supposed to be able to talk to Maya, and she's kind of like a prompt to like what your current problem is you're trying to solve. But the new girl just doesn't help that, and I need her more than ever to like help me know like what's our current predicament, because this got super fucking convoluted. I have to like research our own playthrough to tell where we left off each time. I don't know how people played this as a handheld game where they're taking breaks all the time. Like, how did you beat these parts
I think
on a DS?
I don't think they're taking like as long of breaks as we take.
Yeah, but like they get interrupted all the time, and then you have to like, where was I in these 12 locations and 30 pieces of evidence and 6 NPCs?
Yeah, imagine being like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, what's the invisible question that I can't see anywhere in the game that I have to answer right now in order to continue?
Just click everything.
I mean, that's definitely what kids did. They just kept clicking on things and like, oh, this is new.
I should have known.
Oh my god. All right. So we're officially fucked.
What's new?
I had to cave in, use a walkthrough.
Yeah.
I haven't even edited the last session yet. So like it doesn't have, there's no easy to view video featuring commentary that shows what was happening because it's still the raw files and everything. So I'm like, so I have to just use a walkthrough and just try to remember where we left off. And so we constructed the vase.
Yeah, we constructed the vase.
And so the next step in the walkthrough, which I'm now throwing in the garbage, hopefully, but who knows, this case is a nightmare. And you're gonna be confused by this.
I'm confused by this.
Wait, how do I do it again? I always forget to do this. There,
why?
because you only do it in one of the menus.
No, I think it's the handle. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I remember distinctly you sprayed the fuck out of this area. Although
Yeah.
I think you did spray just the handle before. But even
might have
it's like,
sprayed the handle and the cloth.
but why would there be a handprint on the?
You really have to spray every single surface apparently.
So it must be, maybe they shut it. They shut it like this because I guess that's why their hand would be there, not on the handle. But still,
No.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. Don't
What
worry.
an annoying mechanic.
Don't worry, Keith. Everything will be okay.
It's alien jizz.
Why am I getting a reaction here? That's the reaction I wanted.
Oh. There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant.
So something in there. There has to be something in there then.
Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there.
You're a cop, dude. You're a detective.
Yeah. He has no idea what it is. It's new to him.
What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid.
Where'd you get your hands on that?
Huh?
I'd like to get some too.
They don't trust him with anything.
I'll just borrow $50 from the chief.
Aww.
He's like a Labrador.
He's cute.
Where do you get this, Emma?
I always buy it by mail order. What the? Where?
Well, I better jot this down
Can
on
I
the
buy
floor
that?
plans. Want to hear about a stupid misconception? In my stupid brain from when I was a kid?
Sure.
I thought that mail order brides were male brides that you order.
Like
I thought Russian, it was stereotypically Russian. I thought the Russian brides, it was Russian men from that you marry by ordering them. Because I just heard mail order brides. And I was like, what?
it kind of like points to your age because I think mail order, like the phrase mail order is not like something
it's out of use.
Our generation says very often. Mail order is like, your grandma's like, I got it by mail order. Now it's like, I got it off of Amazon. It's not like something you really just say like that anymore.
But it's like the only time I heard that phrase was like in the context of a gendered person. So I was like, what? All right, whatever.
That's kind of impressive.
I'm 7 and I don't understand what's being said right now.
I think most kids would go for MAIL before they went for MALE. So it's kind of like you took like a logical leap because I think, most kids are like saying like, dude, boy, guy, man. They aren't saying like male.
You don't think kids know what male means?
They aren't calling women females yet.
The females.
Because I love that. I love when people call me a female.
A female.
Amongst you females, I don't fight with no females. Some guy fought with me at work, and that's what he said.
I don't fight with no females.
I don't fight with no females. And I said, you can quit then. And he did. I'm like, don't you have a wife? Like, how do you talk? Do you not have conversations with her?
Yeah.
Do you not have like debates or like educated discussions? Do you not?
So he meant argue?
Where do you draw the line?
He meant argue when he said, don't fight with no females?
Yeah. He meant argue, not like a fist
So
fight.
he was just a misogynist.
Yeah.
That straight up was like, I'm sorry, you're a woman. You cannot discuss these things and disagree with me.
Yes.
That's what he's saying in other terms.
And then I have this problem where I laugh because like that's not what you're supposed to do, but I couldn't help it because I just thought it was the funniest thing. I just laughed.
It was the most baffled. Like it's so.
And it made him way angrier. I just like like laughed. I was like, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And then he's like, "Oh, I quit then," and I'm like,
Good,
thank you, bye. And I said it just like that with a big smile on my face, and he was pissed.
Hey, pal, look at the time. It's time for me to fight with some females.
I don't fight with no females. I saw like at a bus stop like a year later, and he was like, he apologized, but I'm like, I don't care.
What a
Can you tell me where an ATM is?
What a confusing kind of shitty person. Because you don't think they exist, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
That's a stance to have. Was there something you need to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. Okay, I'm sorry. Just coping with this case.
What's
Just coping with what this case is and how it works. So we just fell victim to another one of those things like last time. Remember when I had to like loop through the same conversation 6 times to get the right combination because you had to have a different conversation elsewhere in the court, but having selected the correct option of the 3 before, and had to keep looping. You had to know somehow that like having picked the right of these 3 options and then having this other conversation would somehow lead to the canon path or something, even though presumably once you've asked all 3 of them, you've asked all 3 of them, so they're all in play. But you had to like, the correct one had to be the most recent for some reason to make that one path thing happen. So the reason why we had nothing to solve and why it felt like the case was stalling and why we had nowhere to go and nothing made sense was literally because the entire case was on pause until we find that handprint, at which point Gumshoe will, for completely unrelated reasons, allow us to continue the case. Because we're waiting for Edgeworth to get out. And so, like, you get into a situation with some of these cases where you need access to an NPC, but the only way to get access to the NPC is to just do other unrelated tasks, and then the NPC shows up again.
Yeah.
There was like, it used to not be like this, because it used to be NPC was being an obstinate little shit, and they're like, I need a trading card. So at least you had a goal.
Well, at least it's related to the NPC.
Well, it's like you had a goal. You had a clear goal of like, I need to do this in order to continue because this person's not talking to me until I do this thing, and like they've told me the thing. Go prove that Gordy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And other shit like that. Which I was frustrated with that on some level too, because it's like, I swear to God, these people. But now what they lean on is the idea that like somebody is just inaccessible for quote unquote a while.
There's a
and they're not going to become accessible until you do unrelated tasks. That's then suddenly unlock them.
Invisible wall.
In this case, we had to spray another thing, but it's one we sprayed before, but we just sprayed a different part of it.
Yeah,
I guess. And now we can talk to Edgeworth, which we didn't unlock Edgeworth by spraying that thing. It's just Edgeworth was hidden from us for unrelated reasons.
He was at a meeting or whatever.
Probably because he's fucking incompetent. He is. We wasted our entire first day in court because he didn't listen to a guy that said he had something to tell him. And it was a cop. It wasn't even like a random person, remember?
Well, I think...
Because Rock Lee came in to serve him, basically. Yeah. And he just ignored him. And then the whole first day was wasted as a result. And I'm like, fucking Edgeworth.
Well, yeah, because Edgeworth was like, does this have to do with this case? And the Rock Lee said no, but he didn't know it did have something to do with the case because it's literally the same case. Because it wasn't clear yet that it was the same case.
Yeah. I'm going to go give them my report for the day. Why is there a restaurant? It might help, you know.
Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer?
The one that says nothing but no problems? Wow.
Oh, Gumshoe.
This is like 100% realistic police report.
Oh, Gumshoe. What a dork. Oh, and that's why he has a $20 bonus. Who gave him this job?
So this is dark, but that was basically Breonna Taylor's police report. It was just like, it was like blank. And it just was like, yep, all clear, nothing, no one died, everyone's fine. And it's like, that was like a horrible, horrible situation, and that was the police report that was filed for it. Was basically like that. And
nice.
so it's like, this is distressingly realistic.
Yeah, this is kind of a poignant game for us to be playing right now in a way. There's some critique on the criminal justice system.
This is like horrifyingly realistic in a weird way, but it's like a joke in this game. But it can't ever be real enough. Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this.
Yeah, like that.
The one that says nothing.
The restaurant flyer.
That just says no problems. And he's not going to read it anyway. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. It's almost weird that the franchise has now, like, lampshaded the fact that he's an incompetent buffoon. Mm-hmm. Because even the department itself is like, this idiot. We just pay him like $20 and he just keeps coming in. It's like, we're gonna find out that he was fired and doesn't know it yet.
A freaking office space where he's like been working in the basement, but like no one's known he's worked there forever.
Yeah. wait, stapler. It's totally gonna be like that guy where we're just gonna find out like he's not even a cop. Like he's just like their mascot. They just like let him wander around because
he's cute.
It seems to make him happy. But like
they pat him on the head. They're like, "Good for you, buddy."
I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. I just wonder if that means the franchise is going to move in a direction towards the cops being more competent, or if this lampshade's going to go nowhere. They
might just like to have Gumshoe being like a charming little dork. Like that just might be his character specifically. Although it seems like every time we come here, the people on the computers are never doing police work, and that the chief is like a blabbermouth, and everyone's not doing a good job. The judge obviously is not doing a good job.
Yes, that's the tic-a-taca of progress.
Tick tick tick. Yeah, that is. Oh, it's my boy.
Why?
I have to remember his voice.
I always forget you voiced him.
Oh yes, my apologies.
Wait, this is like the third case he's shown up in, hasn't he? Didn't he show up again already? I thought.
Well, I think he made a cameo before, but it's not like yeah.
Oh, it's you.
If we met somewhere.
Huh?
Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long.
He's like maintaining all these connections.
He's just a professional butler guy.
Is Edgeworth here? Isn't this one room?
There's a ladder that leads up to like a secret penthouse.
It leads up to Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
There's an entire temple up there.
There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. He's like, oh my god, he just fades into existence.
He's just standing by the window. How could you not see him, Edgeworth? Phoenix, he's like 8 feet tall.
That's funny.
He's a giant pink man. Like, is Edgeworth in here? Huh? He blended in with the shades. I couldn't see him past the curtains.
He kind of looks like the curtain, same color.
Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service?
Like across the town?
Yeah, they're not... He doesn't work at Wright & Co., so, like, how far away is this?
Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry?
I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. What?
We just talked to him.
By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. We both fall for the same thing, which is that, oftentimes when it shows somebody, when a new dialogue pops up, it'll often either show a new character on the screen all of a sudden who isn't the person who's saying it, or the person who's saying it will suddenly emote.
Yeah.
Like the person on the screen will suddenly emote, so we think they're saying it. Mm-hmm. Like there's two things that both signify that person's talking, but but it's actually Phoenix talking because Phoenix isn't on the screen.
I wish the little bars that said like our name were just different colors.
Yeah. I just wish it'd be nice if Phoenix was on the screen, like in Fire Emblem or something. He's the only person who's not, and he's on the screen in the other half of the game. So it's not like he's like a blank protagonist that we don't want to like mess up by showing what he looks like. But they just don't. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems.
So much information. Really? Was it helpful?
Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here.
That is helpful.
Yeah, but like that's not... Even he's not getting the information correctly, because this is more distracting than the real report. God, this would, honestly, this is more helpful than the real information he's trying to convey, so it's best that we don't correct him.
Yeah, just let him understand the French restaurant is opening.
Look at his face!
Oh.
I think he was trying to console me somehow.
With French food.
The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him.
What, the being accused of murder, or the attempted incarceration of him, or the incompetency, and the repeated embarrassments, and how he lost every case against us?
Yeah.
Yeah! So how'd the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation.
Concealing evidence?
Yes. Apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time, again. That face, that smug little face. Like, doesn't he constantly do that? Conceal evidence all the time?
Yes.
Again. Phoenix, you know, he did it to you, like, a lot. I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. And also the part where I keep concealing evidence. Like, I just can't stop. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still prosecuting attorney, however. Something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department.
The police department?
Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. Should have been a... Yeah, there should have been a comma. I was just like, what? Something was wrong with that sentence. You'd either say like Gant, the Chief of Police, or you'd say the Chief of Police, Gant. But it was all one phrase, so it was like police Gant. They're like,
I don't know. I was like reading this article about how there was like an argument amongst grammar people who are interested in grammar. I don't know, where it's like certain generations were taught like. Okay,
are you talking about the Oxford comma?
I don't know. That's very nice of you, comma, Keith. Like, a lot of generations aren't taught to include the comma there. Like, that's very nice of you, Keith. Or like, that's very nice of you, comma, Keith. Like, some people think that shouldn't be there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
begun the comma wars have.
I'm bullshitting. The comments can decide. I include the comma.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people that will text in full sentences with like completely correct grammar.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, you are cute T. Or they'll do
like QT, the letters, like QuickTime.
I always laugh because of that Family Guy joke where it's like, you are easy to love. Like, with all just letters, but the LUV at the end. I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's just stupid. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that shit. And then your without the E and the apostrophe. I mean, without the apostrophe, I can forgive, but like the E, like, come on, like I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I had
like that's it.
I miss getting the wrong your is rough. But the
that is a constant. I can't believe. I thought it was a joke. It's not a joke.
I had a brief time when I was like 10 and I was playing Diablo 2 online where I was like typing the way that people would eventually text, but I didn't have texting yet. But like it was like the letter U, and old versions of 2 were the number 2, and it was such a garbled mess to type as quick as possible.
Love.
But it's because I was slow at typing because I was new at having any kind of access to a keyboard. But like I had to like stop myself after like a few months because I just, even as a kid, I was looking at some of these things I was typing. I'm like, this is actually incomprehensible. I need to fix this. And so
Elite speak.
I started forcing myself to write everything out, and then by the time I was playing,
That's you.
by the time I was playing World of Warcraft, I hit a point where, like, I think I told you before, I need to take a drink of water. Sneezing destroys my voice. I don't know what that is. Like, it's like it coats my throat or something, and then I can't
Don't
speak.
say that.
But that was like my character arc. It was like typing random letters and trying to see how concise they get a sentence out. So then, like, World of Warcraft days teaching me to, like, touch type, where I would just completely type without looking, and I just kind of did it on accident with no training. I just realized one day that I wasn't looking down anymore, and I was like, my God, I know this. I know Kung Fu.
I used to get the Roar XD, like, lols.
Yeah.
Like, I used to get those kids messaging me, and I was just like, no, we're not doing that.
But now from, like,
Asterisk glomps, like, no.
yeah, glomps.
No, we're not talking this way.
Glomps :3.
Oh gosh, no. Ooh, ooh. Like, get out. Be gone.
As a result, by the time I actually got a cell phone finally as a teenager, I was already just, like, committed to just always writing full sentences. So I always, like, I include punctuation sometimes, which I've learned apparently makes people think you're mad at them. Like, if you end a sentence with a period, that's seen as aggressive, or like you're mad about something. And I'm like, I don't know all these texting rules. I don't get it. Like, there's like a quota of how many emojis you're supposed to include to convey emotion, otherwise you're mad at them. Like, there's several there's several layers under which people assume I'm mad at them when I'm just saying English at them and saying what I mean.
I end it with comma, haha, H-A-H-A, lowercase.
That's my disarming thing, is I sometimes end sentences with LOL, just to try to imply that it's not, like, mad or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't get it. That's, like, it's different rules, and I didn't keep up with it because I didn't sit there and fucking text constantly all the time. So I'm left behind by the culture, Kiki.
Just please use it the right your for the love of Kiki the dog, because, like,
yeah, if you use the wrong your,
if I'm on
everyone's
Tinder
judging you,
and I get the wrong your, that takes you back like 2 notches. I'm like, I don't know, man.
I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed. You have several things to be ashamed of. Obstruction of justice, fugue stating a murder and just forgetting not realizing why people died in front of you twice.
Framing a suit and putting it on a wall for decoration.
Updated fucking autopsy report. Updated? Why would it be updated? Why did you submit if you didn't like the results of the first one, then why didn't you submit it? Why'd you submit the bad one to the courts if you were gonna get another autopsy for an updated report? You punk ass.
You punk ass.
Because it wasn't updated, you totally fucking forged the second one because you're a fucking liar. You have so much to be ashamed of. Also, you looked up to that guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's pretty bad. Like, you cosplay as him still. Like, your whole aesthetic is based on the fact that you think that fucking Karma's a rad dude, and he's pretty awful, so...
Get your shit together, Edgeworth. Like, get your shit together.
But still... Well, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Shit. Alright,
present him with the glove.
Let's just show him things. I'm just gonna try things. Glove. Right, please. I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea.
But we're friends.
I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner.
That's not polite.
No means no.
Whose side are you on, anyway?
The handsome Edgeworth side.
Maybe
I like edgelords.
Yeah, maybe if I just show my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. Oh, fuck.
What's your best evidence? That's kind of debatable.
The blood locations?
Badger.
The blood locations.
Badger.
Nope. Because it's been updated to have 3 blood spots now. The ID card record?
Yeah, that, I
I'm on
think
it.
that might be your best evidence, to be honest.
Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record. A record of ID card usage.
Record.
A record. We're recording you right now. You're on candid camera, bitch.
You're in a game played by two people who are chatting over you.
You're
and
not
you don't
even
know.
real.
Yeah.
You're getting fucking MS3TK'd. 3K. I lost the acronym. There's too many letters.
MSNBC.
Definitely not. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that.
Like a sad girl?
I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. Okay,
He's trying to fucking frame
so he's the
you.
murderer.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it all along.
He's so fucking behind everything. Like even the oldest suspicious things are created by him.
The chief of police?
He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. Another case.
He has a different one now.
AAI-16. I'm gonna melt. That's our third page of evidence right there. Here it comes. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
Doesn't make sense.
But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself.
That's sketchy as fuck.
Aren't you above him? Don't you run the police as a prosecutor in this universe?
Well,
Why does he have to listen to
technically they
him?
should just be separate branches, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, but I think in this universe the prosecutors run the police, so like Edgeworth should be. Isn't Edgeworth above the. What?
I think chief is top.
Does he have to give commands? In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
There was another stabbing. Every case is murder. I
What other
can't
cases
say.
are there?
Yeah, we never. What?
Is there ever like embezzlement
Is
or
there,
like?
yeah, when are we gonna get like a grand larceny case or
Yeah.
like insider trading?
Yeah.
It's just murder. That's the one thing that people prosecute. It's morally.
Tax evasion.
It's because murder is like, it's in reality it's not, but to some extent it's seen as like the most black and white crime of just like, yep, whoever did it, bad, get them. They did
Yeah.
a murder. So it's like really cut and dry. Even though like, even that gets confusing because of elements of like self-defense and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really has nothing to do with the current case. This new face, he just uses it a lot more now. I'm not ready for it.
He's broadening his horizons.
There's something weird about it.
It's kind of like, not gonna lie, it's kind of like, it's kind of sexual. Like he's very, he's being very demure,
This is
and
the
I
one-
don't.
This is the one that they'd use on like the
is for-
preview image of their slash fiction.
Yeah, this is my fanfic cover image. Is this one? It's like he's blushing, like he just filmed something really cute, and he's like, like I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about that thing that you told me last night. Hee. Like he's totally like hee.
Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Can you sort your notes, Phoenix? Hey, Phoenix, can we get like evidence categories at this point? I need folders, please. You can't just list them left to right forever. I'm gonna melt.
Some binders would be cool.
Evidence from past case from Edgeworth's. Brought it back to his office at Gant's request.
That sketchy as fuck. You should not have done that. That definitely seems like you're covering something up.
Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case.
You can't say it doesn't, dude.
People tell me all my evidence doesn't matter, and then it does.
Yeah, so fuck you.
Let's look at page 3. What? Oh, I was on page 2. Okay. You thought it stopped at 2.
No.
Don't. Remember when it was a revelation when it went to 2 pages? It was like,
It's like when Y2K happens, where it's like what's gonna happen when all the 9s reach 0 and it becomes year 2000? Is everything gonna break? But it's like, no, you just go over to the next page.
The tag says AI 16.
What's that got to do with anything?
Nothing, apparently. At least, that's what Edgeworth said.
That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It will. This is foreshadowing.